Kia ora e te whānau. Our final instalment of In the Groove, we are taking a listen to something picked out by the team at onvinyl.co.nz, that wondrous online portal of vinyl goodies. And if you purchase before Saturday the 21st of December, you'll go in the draw to win a Martin DX Johnny Cash guitar. We will be drawing the winner live at 10 AM Monday the 23rd, so tune into our socials for that. Today we are listening to an album by two of history's most prolific songwriters who have constantly locked horns and rekindled their friendship throughout the years. It's Long May You Run by the Stills Young Band. Now, the tumultuous relationship between Stephen Stills and Neil Young goes back to the birth of 60s psychedelic folk rock, when they first joined forces in Buffalo Springfield, a highly influential yet short-lived band that turned out one of the era's most poignant songs in the form of For What It's Worth. After the demise of this heritage act, the two forged adjacent solo paths to much acclaim, as well as joining forces a few times for Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young for both albums and tours. The more I learn about the relationships, it seems that they would make music until Young decided he didn't want to anymore, and often would leave the union without so much as a by your leave. So, it was in 1976, after an attempt to record another CSNY record went down in flames, the pair decided that they had unfinished business and entered Criteria Studios in Miami to begin work on what would become Long May You Run. The songs contributed are evenly split between the two songwriters, and the album opens with a Young classic, Long May You Run. The familiar sound of Young's harmonica breezes over the top of a chilled out shuffle, while Stills executes the perfect country twang. The song opens with the line, "We've been through some things together, with trunks of memories still to come," and upon first listen, you'd be forgiven thinking that it's a sentimental line from one old running mate to another. After all, there is much water under the Stills Young bridge. Well, turns out the song is about one of Young's first cars, an old Buick called Mort. Classic Neela. It's reminiscent of his earlier work, but has a bit more spring in its step. The backing band was Stills' touring group, and they were a well-oiled machine. Stills is no slouch on the guitar himself, and you can hear the quality of the musicianship straight away. Where everybody knows This Is Nowhere or After the Gold Rush have a rich hokiness to the playing, Long May You Run oozes chops and tasteful runs. Another example is Jerry Aioli's Hammond runs on Make Love to You. The smooth rim click of Joe Fatale's verse rhythms are then perfectly juxtaposed with his dirty halftime groove of the chorus. Attention passengers, you are now entering Pro Town. Midnight on the Bay is sultry, dampened toms, bongos, organs, smooth guitars and lush vocal harmonies in abundance. I know this, it's yacht rock. The songs conjure up images of warm nights and the feeling of being gently rocked away into slumber by the swell. During the recording of the album, Stills was renting a mansion, while Young chose to stay in a rickety houseboat moored in Coconut Grove. The song is a lived experience, perhaps. The two singers' voices meld effortlessly throughout, and it's clear that they know how to stay out of each other's way when harmonizing. Often have these two steeds gone head to head on other matters and fallen out, but boy, can they sing in tune together. There's also some fantastic guitar playing on display from both gents, and a highlight would have to be the subtly played fuzz tones on deep cut Fountain Blue. There are definitely a few well-executed whistlers found within. As a huge Neela fan, and having not dipped my toes into Long May You Run before, I discovered a smooth collection of songs that dock well within the sounds of the mid-70s. The echo of a gentle sea breeze and the waft of Pisboen are never far when listening to this record. And now we are on the cusp of our summer break here in Aotearoa. I know it will be soundtracking my sun-dappled afternoon. And with that, we come to the end of our In the Groove series for 2024, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a few folks. Firstly, our partners in crime at On Vinyl for joining with us on this project. David and Liz, thank you so much for hunting out and supplying us with records. We've been enjoying them each week, and thanks for sharing your stories about the music and for letting Garrick and I rant on about what we found most interesting. Here's to more local businesses working together for the greater good. Now to Josh Thomas, who sits behind the camera, sets up the lights and edits up a storm week in, week out. We offer endless praying hands emojis to you, fine sir. Josh is an integral part in what we do here at Studio One Vintage Guitars, and our content would be very average without his discerning eye. So thanks very much, Joshy. On behalf of myself and Gaz and all of us here at Studio One Guitars, keep on seeking out new music, old and new. Set aside a little time to really listen to what the artists have embedded in the groove of those vinyl records and allow yourself to be transported to someplace else. Kia kaha to all the musicians around the globe that are making music and pressing vinyl. It can be a thankless task, but we hear you, see you, and appreciate you. Ngā mihi, everybody.